Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. It's 1:31. I want to say thank you to Bill Linkwall. Thank you, Veronica, and thank you, Brooke Woolley, for teaching this great dynamic class. Bill is going to touch a little base on getting your spear in gear, and then Veronica is going to come in and talk about farming your way to success, and then we're going to round it up with Brooke Woolley, conquering social media. And I just want to say thank you guys for all you do and everything, for your help. And so we're going to let Bill take it away. Bill, take it away for us.
All right. So how is everyone doing today? Welcome.
Hi, Bill.
Doing fine, Bill.
All right. So I truthfully, I didn't realize it was going to be like 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. So please feel free to be as interactive as possible. One of the things that I think is critical, we all know about the 36 touch program, right? Keller Williams says that when you communicate with your database systematically, which in Keller Williams speak means 36 times annually, right? These are METs. These are people that you know. So for example, if I called Veronica and I said, hey, this is Bill Linkwald with Keller Williams, and Veronica said, oh, hey, Bill, how's it going? How's the family? That's a MET, okay? If instead I call Veronica and I say, hey, Veronica, this is Bill Linkwald with Keller Williams, and she says, who? Bill what? That is a good clue. It's not a MET, okay? So METs in your database, okay? When you communicate with them 36 times annually, that's a combination of telephone, text, social media, snail mail, newsletters, client events, all that kind of stuff. 10% of that database should close each year. Okay, roughly half of those people will close that are people in your database currently, and roughly half of those people will be people that are referrals from the people within your database. Okay, now with that in mind, let's just do some really quick math. First of all, the average commission check, and I'm being pretty conservative here, is $10,000 in our marketplace. Okay, it's actually probably more like last month our average sales price in Roswell was over $400,000. So let's just use $10,000 as an average commission check. Okay, if you have 100 people in your database and 10 of them close, giving you a $10,000 check each time, that's $100,000, which means that every single person in your database, your sphere, is worth $1,000 annually. Now, if that doesn't get you excited, I'm not sure what does get you excited. Okay, so when you're out with the task of growing your database, every single person, you should say, oh my gosh, if I just meet this person, give them value 36 times a year, I can take $1,000 to the bank. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? So it's two parts here. Number one is you got to build it.
Can you just repeat that for me, because like I come a little bit late.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. Okay, the average commission check in our office is $10,000. I'm going to try to keep the math super simple. Okay, for every 100 people that you have in your database, METs, that you communicate with 36 times annually, Keller Williams, the research suggests that 10% of those will close a year. So that's 10 closings each time you make $10,000 for a total of $100,000. So $100,000 earnings versus 100 people in your database. So every person in your database is worth $1,000. Okay. So the name of the game is a combination of growing the database and then loving on the database, right? And you provide the value that they need specifically, right? Whether it's a connection with a home-related vendor, or whether it's how to file homestead exemption, or if it's, hey, can you do a CMA and send it to the tax official's office so that I can, not be taxed as much. Whether it's who's your painter, or hey, whatever it may be, here's a new home in the market. If you give them the value that they want, then you have an opportunity to earn their business. Okay, So my kind of segment of this class today is how do we get our sphere in gear? Well, the only way to get them in gear is to know what they want in the first place, right? And have a systematic way of communicating with them. So the systematic way of communicating with them is the 36 touch. So the 36 touch is really a combination of personalized touches, right? It generally includes client events, which could be virtual now. It could include invitations to the client events, follow-up from the client events. It could include a neighborhood nurture, where you can search by neighborhoods, right? So you can, if I know where Veronika lives, then I can say to her, hey, let's search in Martin's Landing, and you can see all the new listings as they come out. And when something goes pending or something closes, that's going to impact your equity. So I figured you might want to be interested in that. You can also search for areas all across, neighborhoods all across the country. So for example, what was the neighborhood you grew up in? You ever wonder what real estate's like over there now, right? If you were to retire, where in Hilton Head would you want to live? Or where in Destin would you want to live? We can monitor those neighborhoods, right? So you can make it fun and personalized and interactive. But most importantly, you need to know what your people's goals are, right? So your touches are going to be dependent on what their specific goals are. So what's next for them? Are they going to buy a larger home, a more expensive home, a smaller home, a home in a different part of town? Is next for them maybe an investment property, right? What's next for them so that you can deliver that appropriate content in a way that they want to receive it? Make sense? So for example, this morning in our group, we talked a lot about our commitment, right? Tomorrow is the first day of the fourth quarter, right? And I got a number of agents to commit to speaking to every single person in their database before the end of the year, right? Every single person. If you can't get them over the telephone, text them, video text them, poke them on social media, whatever you got to do, get a hold of them. And the priority is really to make sure they're okay, right? We got a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. And many, the research says that 1/3 of renters and 1/3 of homeowners are behind in payments, right? You've got record unemployment. You have people that are worried about their jobs. You have people that are worried about the election and all kinds of stuff, right? So first we have to make an investment in our people by making sure they're okay, right? Are you healthy? How's the family, right? And we have script books for that. Agent Pivot Scripts is a script book that KW has put out there, and there's plenty of other examples on checking in. It's like a care call for your database, right? Are you okay? How's work? Are you working from home? Are you now a virtual learning instructor, right? What do you need, right? We are essentially a concierge. You need a plumber? I can help you. You need a painter? I can help you with that too. You need a divorce attorney? I can help you. You need a landscaper? I got you, right? I don't care if it's got anything to do with real estate or not. I'm making calls every single day out there trying to find buyers for my sellers and sellers for my buyers. And there's a very good chance I'm going to encounter somebody that could help you in one of your projects, right? Or if you've got business owners in your database, right? Let's say I've got somebody in my database that is an insurance agent, right? If I know who their ideal client is, right? I know who they're looking for. Are they looking for small business owners? Are they looking for people that just had a child, just moved into a different home? Like, what are they looking for? Because if I know what they're looking for, my pledge to my business and my family is I'm on the hunt every day for buyers and sellers. Well, in the process of that, I'm going to have a lot of conversations with people, right? And I will identify people that not only could be great matches for my client base, but could also help somebody else. So if I think of myself as essentially a concierge, then I will deliver value to people within my database and people soon to be in my database. Does that resonate with everybody? So step one is we got to figure out what their goals are, right? Just out of curiosity, I'm starting some business planning now for 2021. And in an effort to make sure that I can deliver the service you might need me to deliver, do you have any real estate goals that I should be aware of? Right? Do you have any questions? Right? If you're a seller, I think it's fair to say there's a really good chance you'll get top dollar for your property right now. And almost 40% of the time, you'll get multiple offers. We got 1.5 months of supply. Does that surprise you? Right? So if you're a seller, you should either be thinking about selling, or if you own a home, there's one of two things you should be doing right now: selling or refinancing. Make sense? If you haven't refinanced in the last month, you need to be refinancing. Almost without fail, you could save money. Make sense? So if you love your home, refi it. If you don't love your home, let me sell it for you. What is it? Which one is it? Makes sense? If you're a buyer, affordability has never been better. Never been better, right? In some parts of our area, you could sell in a seller's market and buy into a buyer's market, right? Did you know that? Right? I'm not saying, did you guys know that? I'm saying, were you aware of that market trend? You could be saying that to your prospect. Make sense? So first of all, we have to have a commitment in our calendar to spend time loving on our database every single day. And we have to know like what metric we're watching for to make sure that we're on track for our goals, of course. But we also have to understand that there are a lot of people out there that have a variety of needs. And so we need to be out there making sure that they don't cross paths with somebody who doesn't have their best interest at hand. Whether it's a lousy home related vendor or a lousy insurance agent or a lousy realtor. What are you guys hearing, just so I can kind of make sure I'm delivering the right content in the right way?
Bill, if I may say, it will be very well received by your sphere if you start calling them and just simply ask them, how are you? Then the concept of what's going on today, it's absolutely natural that you are concerned and would like to offer help.
100%.
If you just stay positive, I wouldn't go into political discussions.
Oh, please don't. Okay, if we haven't covered this, do not go into political conversations with your clients. Okay, end of discussion, class dismissed, right? Not a good way to start.
Or religious.
Yeah,
religious,
we're not going to talk about anything that is controversial here. We're here to deliver information, right? Be careful. People, if you tie your shoe the wrong way, somebody could get mad at you, okay? We're here to help.
Especially on social media.
Oh my gosh,
like,
please.
Like,
yes.
we act like you don't even know there was a debate last night. Like, I've seen so many agents stick their foot in their mouth today, and it just turns potential clients off.
I know, you say, hey, I love Trump. Well, you just lost half of your database. Well, hey, I hate Trump. You just lost the other half of your database.
Why would you do that? Yeah.
Well, people do that because they can't control themselves.
Yeah.
And they forget that they have a professional persona. Right?
Even if you're asked, yeah, just, I don't, that's something I don't, spend too much time on or something. You have.
I'll tell you, I mean, literally thousands of conversations I've had, tens of thousands of conversations I've had with prospects. I've never been asked my political affiliations, ever. They're not going to ask me.
I have quite a few times, especially in the North Georgia area, where a bunch of Trump supporters are. They'll ask you, and you just kind of have to say, that's not the business I'm in. I'm in the business of buy and sell houses.
Brooke, yeah. I'm sorry. I don't mean to
like that. Yep.
I don't mean to like sway that, but Brooke, how would they ask? Like, in what kind of context, or would they bring that up?
It's funny. So some of them, for example, I just had one ask me, did you see the debate last night? Did you see how Trump handled Biden? And I was like, no, I watched the back of my eyelids last night.
There you go.
like I'm in bed by 7:30. Like I make that up. So one, that also sets the expectation that don't call me after 7:30, and two, it lets them know that this is not a conversation that I'm willing to have.
Don't engage. I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Brooke.
Yeah, great. Good question, good answer. That's exactly right. Exactly right. So, you know, to add to what you just said, Veronika, is people just aren't getting enough flat out care calls. Many of you have heard me say this before, but you have to make deposits before you can make withdrawals, right? You have to pour into people and offer content and offer value before you can expect to withdraw a referral from them, right? If I used to work with somebody 15 years ago, or I went to college with somebody 20 years ago and I hadn't talked to them, and all of a sudden my coach says, call everyone you know, and I call somebody that I went to college with 20 years ago and give them some script about being in the contest, they're gonna be like, I ain't picking up the phone next time you call, right? I'm gonna call them and I'm gonna ask them about how they're doing, right? How's work? What are you doing for work now, right? I see you've got some children. Congratulations. You know, I'm just reaching out to some people, and I came across your name today. I just was curious how things are going. You got a second? Right? If you ask them enough about their world, their family, their business, right, where they're living, what's on their mind, how they're spending their time, they're going to ask you the exact same questions. And if appropriate, you can offer a response to that. Hey, you know, I'm setting some goals right now for next year, and you know, I have a goal to help 20 families buy and sell real estate, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it, right? We're making some pivots to stay safe during COVID, and I'm here to answer any questions you have. Very nonchalant, right?
You can also offer some positive news. I think we're all craving some good news these days,
Yeah, call with
whatever those might be.
Yeah, 100%
Interest
of sellers.
rates, sellers market, new place just opened, like a restaurant.
Yeah, look, 100% of sellers, homeowners that I'm talking to are making one of two choices. They're either selling their home or refinancing, right? You know, have some fun, right? But if you call with a purpose, hey, we've got this new piece of technology. I wanted you to, you know, be one of the first people to see it. Give me a little feedback on it. Would you mind? Right? Hey, you know, just came across the, you know, 2 tickets to this thing or whatever, right? How can you add value without the expectation of it being returned?
I think a good example of something like this is I tell people now I've become a professional job hunter, because all the people that have lost their jobs during COVID, when I'm in my day-to-day business, I just like ask people, hey, are you hiring? And then I'll text it to my friends who's looking for a job. For example, my vet was hiring when I picked my dog up, and I sent it to my friend, and she's like, by the way, we're thinking about buying a house. Can you help us? So if you are carrying enough bricks, your friends will start carrying the bricks too, and then start coming to you. So you should be equally.
Bill, is it true that the refi rates are going up as of October 2nd?
In the friendship, if you're social media, you, or your friends from coming and posting on like great things that happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you just paused and it all came in really fast.
Oh, sorry. Hi, I'm driving. I just got a showing request and I have to go accommodate it. So, so basically, when you're on social media and you post about yourself and you just put a picture of your family, that's great. I'm going to use Michael as an example today. They've been doing these awesome community events where they're giving coffee back to the community. And they're like, I think the other day it was like from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. you got a free coffee on them. And I don't know how many buyers they met, but I can tell you, posting on social media, if they stay consistent with that and they keep doing that weekly and pick a different business weekly, their business is about to explode. And I can see it from the outside looking in because I've done it before. And by doing that, you're showing the community that you're giving more effort into them than you are into your business. And then they're going to start wanting to pour back into your business.
That is 100% true. Thanks for sharing that, and congratulations to you, Michael and Marinelli, for your hard work on that. When you are contributing to the efforts of others, right, all small businesses are having to pivot, right? Different safety measures, different hours that they're open, making sure their staff can stay employed, right? They're all pivoting just like we are. So if you can make an effort to support your community businesses, people really appreciate that. And for the cost of, I mean, Michael, how much money did you spend on free coffee, if you don't mind me asking?
I think it was about $40. Yeah, and we had about 800 views on our video on Facebook.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty awesome.
Are you offering them a cup or a bag? Are you brewing it or delivering?
I was walking around in my apron holding a coffee, mug, going around pouring coffee. Just kidding.
Wow.
I guarantee you there will be a time in the future where you and somebody that saw that video are sitting at a closing table laughing about that in the future. That's memorable, right? Are you creating memorable experiences for your people, right? So Get Your Sphere in Gear is really all about getting to know your people on a deeper level and pouring into them the way they need to be poured into, right? So if they're looking for good news on the refinancing, if they're looking, like Veronika said, if they're looking for a job, like Brooke said, right? Look, I'm on the phone all the time. I'm interacting with, 20, 30 people a day. There's a good chance I can help you every single day. So what should I be looking out for right now? So Veronika, you would ask the question about what's the deadline for the cost of refinancing to go up?
Yeah, I heard they're going up as of October 2nd.
I thought that they pushed it out a little further than that.
Well, anyways, that's a good reason to call your sphere and let them know if they haven't yet refinanced.
I think they pushed it out to December, didn't they?
Yeah,
The
beating the
half
December
percent edition.
1st deadline.
Yeah, the
Yes.
0.5% edition, yeah.
However, let's say that you have a 5% interest rate right now, 4 3/4 interest rate right now. It's all math. If they add that extra 0.5% and you can still save money, then it makes sense.
Yeah, 3.5 versus 3 is relative, isn't it?
That's right. So the question is not necessarily how much money are you going to save, and that's how much I'm going to appreciate you for calling. The question is you thought of me and were curious to see if there was a way to save you money, and I'm grateful for that call. So even if the math doesn't work out, you still get credit. So like I wanted to go, I was going to come and support your thing and get a free cup of coffee. I couldn't get there before 10 o'clock, yet I still appreciate the offer. It's almost like you bought me a cup of coffee without having to spend the money.
Michael's going to open up his Facebook Messenger one day, and he's going to have, like, every morning there's going to be somebody going, hey, can you help me? This is what we're looking for. Hey, can you help me? This is what we're looking for. It happens daily, multiple times a day to me, and y'all, my profile's public, so please go look at it. I'm not doing anything special, but I'm also not force-feeding you listings, and I'm not a secret agent. People know that I'm an agent.
Right. So part of this idea behind getting your sphere in gear is creating some urgency, right? We have a December 1st deadline for refinancing. Hey, interest rates are still incredibly low. Hey, we still have multiple offers, right? You're not pushing them to do something that is not in their best interest, but you're helping them understand what it would take to be successful in the marketplace. And you're letting them know that you're right there ready to serve, right? So, I mean, imagine this, okay? Imagine that you had 30 relationships that were incredibly deep with 30 of the people in your database, right? I'm talking like, you know what their cat's name is, right? You know what their daughter is studying at college, right? It's not just like, oh, you clicked on a Facebook ad 3 years ago type connection, right? If each one of those people was grateful to you for something that you had done to support their family or their business, especially in a sensitive time like this, and they made a commitment to send you one opportunity a year, for many of us, we'd never have to call a stranger again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's the plan. Absolutely. Keep coming back to the same network of influence. Absolutely. You want
Right.
to keep that spear going.
And the more you support them and their goals, whether they be real estate related or otherwise, the more they'll support yours. Right? And you'll start getting requests that are like, today might seem a little unusual. Hey, here's 4 tickets to the game. I couldn't go. Hey, would you like to spend the weekend at my, beach house in Panama City? Right? The gifts will start being larger and unexpected. Okay, my 30 minutes is just about up. Who has some questions or comments or feedback?
Thanks for the insight, Bill, and for the suggestions. That's some great stuff to toss into the everyday, which can become mundane conversations as you're going through the database.
No doubt. Like Gary says, we have to get comfortable with the monotony of success. Right. However, right.
Sounds Freudian, Bill.
What's that?
Sounds kind of Freudian there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, the interesting thing is when you view making calls about you're more reluctant to do it. When you look at the phone and you say there is somebody on the other side of this phone that's having a crappy day, or that needs an uplifting phone call, or that might need a service or a piece of technology or a piece of information that I have and they likely don't have, then you feel compelled to make more connections. When you're thinking about it from your perspective, like, oh, I wonder what they'll think if I call them today, or I wonder if I'm going to interrupt their day, you'll find just about every excuse in the book not to make that call.
So true. So true, Bill.
Right. So it's all in the mindset. Look, if you think it's going to be awkward to call them today, it's going to be even awkward or more awkward to call them tomorrow. Just do it. Okay. All right. Any other thoughts or comments?
No, thanks, Bill. Appreciate it.
All right, y'all. Anything you need
That
to let
makes
me know.
sense. Yeah,
My
thanks
pleasure.
for keep reminding us.
Say that one more time, Veronika.
No, everything makes sense what you just said, and I appreciate you keep reminding us that we do need to talk to our people who gave us business.
Yeah. I've been trying to take all this complicated stuff that we seem to be faced with in our business and try to reduce it to something super, super blunt and clear, which is how do we prepare for the appointment, and how do we get the appointment, and what do we do on the appointment, right? How do we get the appointment, and what do we do on the appointment, right? And so your time should be spent trying to master how you get in front of more people and what you do once you get the opportunity to be in front of more people, right? This business is completely the intersection of the number of relationships that you have and how deep those relationships are. That's simple.
Yep.
All right. Veronika, I think you are next. Is that right?
Yes, sir. If
you,
I
everyone.
can share my screen with you, I have a little presentation.
Mel, do you have the ability to
just click on at the bottom of your computer, Veronika, just click on share screen.
Oh, thank you, Mel.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right.
There we go.
And
that's cute.
right. Yeah. Slideshow. Where do? All right, I got it. Well, I am supposed to talk about farming. Do you have any fellow farmers on the call today? No? All right.
Yes, I am.
Who?
Antonio.
Hi, Antonio. So can you tell us a little bit what's your experience been with farming?
I had a presentation to a seller, a listing presentation last week. What I'm doing is I'm farming 4 different subdivisions that are within about a 5-mile radius of where I live. 2 of which are condo and townhome type subdivisions, 2 of which are single family detached, using a combination of knocking on doors, mailing postcards, including a couple of postcards around the Knock Home Swap program that I got certified on, and also putting up some signs at the fronts of the neighborhoods, basically saying, hey, if you're thinking about buying or selling, guess what? You've got a neighbor here that'd love to help you. I know the area very well, et cetera, et cetera. So
That's wonderful. How long have you been doing it?
about 3 months.
Great. Just stick with it. Right?
Yeah, that's what I keep
Got
hearing.
have you got any appointments yet from?
Had a seller actually have 3 buyer or 3 renters that have come out, people who are in condos that don't want to purchase the condo and they don't want to purchase someplace else, they want to lease. So I've signed them up as renter customers. And as I said, I did a listing presentation for a seller last week, and I'm hoping to get another listing presentation for another seller in the next couple of weeks.
And all that in 3 months?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that a lot?
Like
I don't know. I'm brand new, Veronika.
Farming on steroids.
No, I'm brand new. I don't know if that's good or not.
Don't worry about that. You know, when I started farming in 2014, I was clueless. You know, I wish I knew what I know now. So feel free to, you know, pour in because this is what I did, and I would love to hear what other people do and how they are becoming successful in that farming an area, a neighborhood. So this is what I wrote down. This is what farming is about. If you would like to add, you know, 18, 20 plus transactions to your existing business annually, look into farming. If you like things to be easy, meaning sellers calling you, please come list me. Antonio, are you available tomorrow? Can you come to list our house? Instead of, you know, hey, we're interviewing agents, you know, how about you be number 5? And buyers finding you online or off your signs in the neighborhood because they see your presence and they already trust you to find them, help them find a home in this community. You're not doing anything, you're just established yourself in a neighborhood. And most of all, if you like to create your community and cater to it and nurture it and just becoming to go-to person, the feeling is very rewarding. You know, be known and be there for your community, the people in there, be able to help with whatever needs. As Bill said, if it's a contractor, they will be calling you. If it's a question about real estate, they will be calling you. Or even a question about, I don't know, real estate taxes when bills are coming out, like proposals. They will be calling you for help. And that's just another way to connect with everybody. So, as a farmer, you would need to be willing to invest. And mainly, I'm talking about time. And yes, you would need to consider to invest money. When it comes to your time, you need to do research of the neighborhood that can potentially, you know, bring you quite a success. It needs to be a sizable neighborhood. And especially what you want to focus on is see what's the turnaround. How many transactions a year are there? If it's just 10, 14, you probably a year, you probably don't want to start investing a lot of money. unless you live in this neighborhood and you kind of can, you know, farm, you know, not without spending a high dollar, then sure, why not? Education, there's a good class from MAPS, Keller Williams MAPS on farming. I think it's about like 12 sessions online with very successful farmers who are expanded to the entire zip code in Arizona. They can give you a lot of good nuggets. And spending your time, be present in the neighborhood. Sometimes it's just driving by and seeing, you know, signs or what people are doing, what people are looking for. Maybe or spending time on the next door, searching for their needs, so the one that you can cater to. If they're trying to organize an event and looking for a sponsor, if they have a swim team and they want to sponsor for t-shirts or what have you, you know, food during the swim meets, stuff like that. Just building a relationship and start putting together a database of contacts in this neighborhood. Now is the fun part. Let's talk about money. Does it make sense so far? Do you have any questions? Anyone? All right, good. So how much does it cost? This chart shows you what my return on the investment has been since 2014, when I seriously started my farming activities. The main thing that helped me to become top of mind is mailers, postcards, just sold, just listed. And believe me, in 2014, when I started doing it, I was clueless that I'm actually farming. I was just happy to get one listing and in that community, and I tried to maximize it. I sent coming soon, and then I sent just listed, and then I sent under contract, and then I sent sold. I knew back then that the important part was to be consistent with branding. So people will recognize you. Mailers, they say you should have at least 10 mailers to the neighborhood. But I'm hearing lately that successful farmers increasing it to 2 mailers a month. And this is what I'm going to commit myself to. The numbers that you see there from farming, the total GCI, this is from farming activity, period, not as a business. It includes repeat clients, you know, that want you to sell another home for them in that community. It includes sign calls. The return on the investment is, on average, has been for the past 6 years, has been about 21 times.
Veronika?
Yep.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, looking at these costs as they have gone on since 2014, and seeing now that we have Command with the mailers in there from Real Mailers, which I've started using, do you see your costs going down, your postcard mailing costs going down because of the Real Mailers in Command, or are you using something else besides Real Mailers in Command to do your postcard?
Good question. I have been using a company out of Florida for the past 4 years. Their name is Kessler Creative. I just like, they're the cheapest, even cheaper than Command.
Okay, gotcha. Good information. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. I've compared when Command came out. And I was, able to also, negotiate. That's what we do, right?
Yep.
If you can commit to a certain amount, yeah, volume, which I think I have like 1,100 postcards going out at once. Does it answer your question, Antonio?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I know there are other alternatives out there. I just wanted to get an idea. Obviously, you're very experienced at this as to how command and its capabilities for mailing now play into your strategy.
Yeah. The other expenses, you see postcard mailing cost and total expenses. My other expenses are charitable donations it's about $1,000 a year for swim team t-shirts. And for that, I'm getting my logo and my name posted on pool gates, right, main gates, right in front of everybody. And about 80 kids are running around wearing my t-shirts with my logo on the back. It's pretty cool, especially because those swim meets, they take place in other neighborhoods. So
yep.
They're kind of
free advertising.
Yeah.
Free advertising.
Yeah, free. Well, for $1,000, yeah, free.
Well, after that, it's free advertising.
Yeah. Yep. And the other expenses that I am having is the charitable donations to the neighborhood school. As a farmer, I'm lucky to have a school right on the neighborhood premises. It faces the main road of the neighborhood of the subdivision. And for that, I got a huge banner on the school fence with my logo, my headshot. And this is now when I'm start hearing, Veronika, you're everywhere. You're everywhere. That's made a difference, really. Do you have any questions about these numbers? Anyone? Good. So how do you start? First thing would be create your branding. Your brand is the only way for people to remember you. Just make something, a simple logo and colors, and be consistent. It has to be on your mailers and on your yard signs. Right? This is what my mailers, they're kind of transformed for years, but I was trying to stick and keep it consistent. And whatever you fill it with, some people, I've heard a million times of all kind of advisors telling me that my postcards are so busy, it's hard to read. But when I'm getting invited to a listing appointment, I see those sellers with a stack of my postcards and say, we received another beautiful postcard of yours. I don't know, it's just different people have different perception, of things. So consistency in branding. This is the back of the card, obviously, just some message. This is who I use for my mailers. Another thing, when you probably want to start thinking at farming the neighborhood, is where you just got a listing. You got a listing and you want to capitalize on sending mailers out. If you want to be strategic, just see, check the turnaround, see if it makes sense for you to spend money, and also see if there's another agent actively selling in the neighborhood. And actively selling means they're top of the mind. And for my fellow analytical minds here, top of mind, according to the class, farming class that I've taken, is 17%, 1/7 of the entire sales, annual sales in the neighborhood. So if the turnaround is good, you can go in with, you know, with a budget and not to be worried about a competitor, especially if there are 2 or 3 competitors in there. People like change. If you like doing or know how to do door knocking, God bless your heart. I've never done it, but I'm just throwing it on. No, I've done it. I'll take it back. I've done it a couple of times. I just wasn't. It was hard. It was hard, and I don't think it was a good use of my time. Maybe I'm just not so good in front of, you know, people. Like that way. So I've never pursued door knocking again. Next door is a huge help. I know it limits you to where you live. You know, the social media next door. Yeah, it limits you to where you live. But, you know, if you have an advocate in that community, even if you geographically do not belong there, you can ask them to, you know, if you can use their address. So you can, you know, post, get references. You can get references. You can become a post as a business.
Yeah, one of the things about Nextdoor, I checked into them because I have been on it for a while, is if they only allow 1 sponsor per geographic neighborhood. So you can't be, you know, if somebody's already there and they've got your neighborhood, they won't let you do the business page. They won't let you be a business sponsor there. So what you have to do is just go through it as a regular person who, say, lives in your neighborhood, or as someone, as a friend, for example, you have in a neighborhood, and you can post under their ID, like you said, and do some posting that way. But they've gotten a lot more strict. They're trying to make money too, so they restrict it to 1 sponsor per neighborhood.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to know. I've thought about investing when the spots were available, but I decided not to because Nextdoor was kind of new, and I'm not sure what the return on the investment is. If I will just pay, what is it, $250 for?
It's like $250 or something like that.
Yeah.
I haven't looked into it for several months. So once I found out I could not cover the my farm, those 4 neighborhoods are, you know, 2 where I've lived, 1 where one sister lives, and 1 where another sister lives.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I have those contacts there, but for other neighborhoods, you'd have to, you know, it'd be $250 per neighborhood, and a lot of them are already taken.
Mm-hmm. So instead, what I did, I just collected, obviously you open another page, not as a personal profile, you open a page as a business,
Mm-hmm.
and you collect recommendations.
Yeah.
From past clients who from that area. And so far I've been able to consistently be, what is it, #1 as a neighborhood favorite.
Yep.
Yep. So whoever sponsors the neighborhood has less recommendations by far than I did. So I decided to go with more kind of organic way of dominating that particular section. But I think mostly Nextdoor, if you want to allocate some time using it, just see what people are asking for. You know, if they're asking for, they consistently asking recommendations for vendors. And when you see a message like that, if you subscribe, you can respond and say, yeah, here's a great vendor. All my clients are using him or her. All my sellers are using, or, you know, something like that, just to, because you cannot position yourself, you cannot advertise yourself from a personal profile on Nextdoor. So you can kind of, you know, participate in a conversation, letting them know who you are. If it makes sense, and be prepared, because people will be contacting you via Nextdoor. Be prepared to receive their messages, private messages. Don't lose your leads. Like sometimes I do. They are contacting you and they're asking you. So be prepared for you know, two-way communication. So we talked about, you know, one of the options to start to get a listing. If you got a listing, if you're looking to get a listing, you know, door knocking would be probably the best. You can also start with postcards. Nothing is wrong with that. You decide that you want to invest, and but be consistent. Do not withdraw from, if you started mailing, be consistent and do it at least for a year to see a return. And I will be happy, you know, to meet with you and talk about the message or what you want to put on your mailer. Just make it look better than anybody else's mailers. How to start with a listing? This is probably another discussion. Start creating advocates in the community among, you know, residents, businesses, or any other like organizations that they have. If you can support any of them, you know, you can even offer to hold a yard sale, neighborhood yard sale, neighborhood garage sale, as soon as we have those social distancing, you know, restrictions lifted. Or maybe you can be creative and help residents to do something online, you know, virtual. Create a website, have them post pictures with price of their items with price, and if you can help, you know, and mediate it, that will be huge, I think. Many farmers do neighborhood, and I wish I could do again, because what I use this neighborhood yard sale, I sponsored the signs, and so I had like 50 signs produced with my logo on it. Can you imagine having you know, it on every intersection? Because I had like 30 or 15 addresses signed up for yard sale. This is the banner I have on the school. Then during the COVID, again, I saw a huge need for some underprivileged families within the school, and we created GoFundMe. I touched all the sphere in the neighborhood, and we raised almost $10,000.
Wow.
And we provided food, just bags of food, not just gift cards. And I did get referrals from that, from people that I don't even know, referred buyers to me because they trusted me with taking care of their friends who were looking. And these friends were not even looking in Martins Lane. So again, this is the Nextdoor. How to do, anybody have any questions so far? So we touched base about how to select neighborhood if you don't live there. I don't live in a neighborhood that I've been farming. It sounds like, and it feels like, and everybody asking me, hey, which part of the neighborhood do you live in? I don't. I live 2 miles away from it in another community. My recommendation would be to look for something sizable and more of a popular price range if you're looking to start. uh, or a community with a mixed price range where you can have, you know, first time home buyer type of homes, mid-range, and higher. Because if you will start investing in the community that are kind of mid-range, you know, 500, 600 and higher, the turnaround in those communities are not very high. People are moving probably, you know, every, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, because these are for families with kids. If we're talking about suburban neighborhoods, right, where people stay in homes longer. Another agent activity, again, don't be afraid to go into the neighborhood with existing farming agent, as long as the turnaround is big enough for both of you. Antonio, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I said 2 of the neighborhoods I'm working are condos, and they're up to 250,000, around 190,000 to 250. The other is single families. They're around 300 or 400. The other is single families around 4 to 5. So that makes sense to me in terms of what you were talking about doing there. What does MBHD stand for, Veronika?
Where did you?
On your last slide where you said how to select the neighborhood if you don't live there. You got age, NBDH.
Neighborhood?
Is that just short for
Neighborhood, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was something else real estate-y.
No, no. Antonio, are you using ADDM for your mailers, like every door direct, or you handpicking your addresses?
I use a combination of Realist and Remind.
Oh, nice. Realist and Remind. Okay.
Yeah, you look at the tax records and you look at Remind, gives you the ability to go in and take a look. It isn't, in my experience, I guess with Remind, it's probably 75% accurate, if that. So you still have to do a lot of work. And you know, so it's an interesting sort of thing. Again, the thing I've run into is kind of doing it in something of a vacuum and not understanding if I'm doing a good job or if I'm not doing a good job or how long to do it and that sort of thing. So thank you for what you just presented, which gives me some guidelines around what I've been doing. I've done this kind of thing in terms of looking for business before, but it's been more of a corporate setting rather than being in a real estate sort of setting. So, and you're doing something now that I had a question about that I was going to ask, which is if I decide to do it myself, say my neighborhood's a smaller neighborhood, there are only 250 units in here, for example, where I live in my condo. If I wanted to do it myself and say not do mailings through command, how have you had any experience doing them through the United States Postal Service? Well, you beat me to it, Veronika. You got that up on the screen.
Yeah, it's just cheaper way. If you, what is the zip code or the street address that I can plug in to show everybody what's the advantage of using ADDM?
I'll let you use mine. The zip code is 30080.
This is probably going to be
It's going to be too much, but I can give you the home
much.
address if you need. Yeah.
Yeah. If do you
Okay,
mind?
sure. Sure. It is 902.
902.
Country, COUNTRY. Park Drive, and that is in Smyrna, SMYRNA.
Thank you. We're looking at USPS. We're looking how to keep it on the budget and make it less expensive. what you see do you see those purple areas, lines that are popping up?
Yes.
If you are to send postcards just using these routes, and the name of the route is popping on the left under the route, this will be way less expensive than if you just mail to the, let's say, entire neighborhood. This is something that your whoever is mailing your postcards need to know. You need to give them the name of the route. The route name pops up here every time you see a purple line of purple. You see development, you want to farm this one. The name of the route just popped up as 30080-C020.
Gotcha. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So it's just one of the ways. I'm using a combination because I'm using, I'm farming a subdivision, not just an area. And all my message is relevant only to the residents of this subdivision. So I'm using combinations of routes and partial routes, put it this way. All right, I guess my time is up. Call me, email me with any questions. I will be happy to help in any way I can.
Thank you, Veronica. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Veronica.
Brooke? Bill?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
All right. So we are doing social media in your sphere today. So let me turn on, sorry, I'm at a showing. Let me turn on my live. Veronika, if you want to stop screen sharing, you can.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I won't be screen sharing, but I like to look at myself sometimes. All right, you're good. I think you're good. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so there were a lot of good points Veronika brought up with Nextdoor and using Nextdoor. Nextdoor is a social media platform when you're farming. And like, I believe his name, Tony, what was your name? Antonio? They do only offer one sponsorship, but you do not have to be a sponsorship in your area. For example, if you have a buyer need, you can go on Nextdoor and say, hey guys, I'm looking for a lake house that's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, under 500,000. Is anybody willing to sell right now? Because there's nothing on the market. And watch your, if it's a popular in demand, your inbox will fill up with people, but you have to be personable. When someone asks for a plumber, go and represent, and say, hey, I have a great plumber. We're realtors. We have a list of contacts. We should be helping people out. And to hop on what Bill said too earlier, you need to build your sphere on social media like you would in the real world. You wouldn't walk up to somebody and just go, hey, I'm a realtor, let me buy or sell your house. Why are you doing that on social media? So if you're friends on social media, let's say you have 500 friends on Facebook, and you haven't talked or commented or anything on any of those 500 friends' posts in a long time, you're not going to show up on any of their news feeds. That's why you're probably only getting 1 to 2 likes or 1 to 2 comments. Probably your mom or your sister or your daughter, the immediate family members. It's because social media is based on being social. So if you are not being social in all of these things, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of them have the same algorithmic data for the most part, you're not going to show up. So there is a Facebook training that's on Mega Camp. If you went to Mega Camp, and it touches on, and Leslie Peters touches on this too, it's the 555. Every morning before everybody grabs their phone first thing in the morning. If you don't, then you don't have an alarm clock, and I wish I were you, because everybody has alarm clocks on their phone now. So as soon as your alarm clock goes off, instead of hitting the snooze button, open up your social media and go in, and the first 5 people that pop up on your news feeds, you should comment under their posts, and then the next 5 people like their posts, and then the next 5 people send them a, hey, how you doing? I was just thinking about you today. If they are people that you actually know, not some random guy from Zimbabwe. You want to start adding 10 people to your social sphere a day. And people are like, oh my gosh, that's so hard. It is not hard. You go up and it says friends you may know, and you just add 10. Now, not all 10 are going to add you back, so just keep that in mind. But you'll start seeing your base grow. You'll start seeing your friends grow. That's a lot of people have the privacy issue, like, well, I only post things that I want my family to see on social media. Well, that's great. Like, they have a separate account just for that, like where you can put them in categories, like this is private for only these 5 people to see, this is public for all these people to see, this is, you know, only friends can see this post. So every time you go and post something, you can edit the privacy on it, so only those groups of people can see it. Aubrey touched in our meeting yesterday, if you were in it, that you can demographic your zones. So when you're on Facebook Marketplace, I meet so many people off of Marketplace by selling stupid crap like side tables. I sold side tables and got a listing. So people are like, how did you do that? Well, hey, here's a $20 side table. I had 500 messages for it. Is this still available? Is this still available? Yes, it is still available. Would you like to meet? I'm not holding. Here's, you know, here's where it's going to be. 5 people showed up. And out of those 5 people, the first one got it. I sent it off to the first person first. Once the first person got it, I waited around for the other 5 people. I'm like, oh, it's gone. But, you know, I'd love to help you. Did you just buy a house? Are you selling a house? What's going on? And you start a conversation with them. And that is how you meet your people daily. Because I know if any of y'all have taken Bold yet, if you haven't, it's coming up. You want to start talking to 100 contacts a week. And how do you do that? Social media is how you do that. Especially now in a digital world, you can do everything digitally. Everything. You don't ever have to leave your house. In fact, I sold a house without even meeting the seller one time. And it was a $750,000 listing. So are there any questions on social media in your sphere that you have?
Brooke, hi, it's Michael here. Can you hear me all right?
Hey, Michael, I can hear you.
Hey, nice house you got there.
This is, yeah, the broker from South Carolina called me and wanted to show it. So I'm like, I'm on the way.
You do that. Good luck with that. I wanted to ask about Marketplace. Maybe if you have a couple more nuggets of awesomeness for Facebook Marketplace. Marinelli has really complimented you on how you are really making some good use of that tool. And you talked about, for example, selling like an item or side tables, but I think there was a couple other things that I would love for you to share about Marketplace.
Yeah, so Marketplace is an undervalued tool that agents aren't really using. It's the Craigslist of 2020. You have to be careful, and now you have to, at the end of your description for Marketplace, you have to put realtor with KW Realty Consultants, Grow Local Group, Brooke Woolley. Like, you have to disclose that you're a realtor now. But basically what you do is you go on, it's a little form you fill out. You pull 4 or 5 different photos that you want. Don't inundate them with the whole lot of everything. So I typically pull, if it's a nice kitchen, I pull the kitchen photo, an exterior photo, and a pool photo if there's a pool. The more photos you have, the more I would post. Typically I keep it between 3 and 4. If it's a larger listing in the millions plus, I do 6 or 7. And that is because you don't want to give all of your bread out to the duck at once. You want the duck to keep coming back and asking you and nibbling at you. Mm-hmm. So you want to go and you put those pictures on, and it's going to ask a price, and you put $1, and on that $1 in your description, you put, please contact me for a price. There's not false advertisement. You're stating that they need to contact you for price. What that does is they send you a message asking, is this still available? Because that's the generic thing that Facebook has set up, and people are very lazy, I should say, in the social media world. Everything, one second, guys. Everything's unlocked. Feel free to go walk around. Yeah.
And you said that's
all.
We've got documentation.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be 285. They're building, so that's the only part that's not a sound wall, because that's where they're parking the trucks to work on the rest of them.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah. So zip line, the chickens, the pool, everything stays with the house. When you go and check it out, the master bedroom's the first door on the right. As soon as you walk up the steps. Most of the house is original. You'll see the addition.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Yeah, so go check it out. I'm teaching this class. I'll be right up there. So basically, sorry guys. So with Marketplace, you want to give as little information as possible. And I see a lot of agents, they're putting the price out there. They're putting the address out there. They're putting everything out there. They're not giving anybody any chance to say, hey, I'm buying. Why, they're not giving anybody that chance. And so you have agents going, well, Marketplace and Facebook doesn't work for me. I never get any leads. Well, that's because you're giving all your bread out to the ducks, and they're not coming back to you for anything. So basically you want to go in there, fill out the little disclosure, 3 bedrooms, 4 bath, not disclosure, the little input form, put your pictures up, and then you sit back and wait. And if it's in that unicorn price zone, that 250 to 300 price point, or even lower than that, please, you are going to get so many. Please just dedicate an hour of your time after that to sit there and wait, because you are going to get so many lead requests. And here's what you're going to get. Is this still available? Yes, it is. What's the price? If you just put it's $255, you cannot do that. You have to always end with an open-ended communication. We have it listed at $255, comma, is that a price you'd like to stay in? No, that's a little bit out of our budget, but thank you anyways. Oh, shucks, I hate to hear that. I would love to help you find something. What are you looking for? Bam, you have a new buyer client, because they're going to come back and say, well, we're looking for this, this, and this. Awesome, I'd love to get started on that. Are you currently working with an agent? No, we're not. We just started looking. Awesome. So then you start looking and you start sending them things. And guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you shopping cart your agent, if you're a brand new agent and you are putting people in shopping carts on the MLS, you are going to lose deals because they don't send them out fast enough. So it's like every morning they get an update that there's new listings. So if someone were to post that listing like at noon on the MLS, that shopping cart won't send it out until the next morning, and it probably already has 5 or 6 contracts on it. So you need to actively, especially new agents, you have the time. You have the time. You need to actively be looking. If that buyer is looking for a 3.2 under 250, you need to every hour you have a minute, just pull up your phone and actively search, and see if there's something. And then as soon as it's listed, you send it to them. And you need to be the one sending it. So many times I hear clients state, wow, you're such a great agent. My old agent never did this for me. Or my old agent never went out of their way to send me listings. I have a full book of business, and I'm still sending my clients listings that I find. So there's no excuse why you can't be doing that. Don't automate everything. You still want to have that personal touch with your client, especially if you've made it that far in the relationship.
Now,
If you're,
Brooke, I have a question. Are you sending the listings without having a contract with these people?
Yeah. Yeah.
When do you meet them? First time you show the property?
Sometimes I don't meet them at all. I've sold 3 properties last month alone that I never met the buyer.
What market are you in?
I'm in the North Georgia, the Lake Market. I'm from about Buford, Cumming, all the way up to Blairsville and Clayton.
I see. Okay.
So a lot of my showings right now, a lot of my showings are virtual still, because a lot of my clients are still coming from South Carolina, Florida, Alabama, and they know the market's hot and they want to see the property. So I go in and I virtually do a video and I text message them each video of me putting eyes on the property. And it's little things like that. If you know you're going to be in that area and you're like, hey, this house is for sale, I'm going to be in the area, want me to put eyes on it for you, ? Especially if you haven't seen them or heard from them in a week, that's a great way to get the interaction going again. And then you met them on Facebook, or you met them on Instagram, or you met them on Nextdoor. You can do any of these in that. And so then the next time you see them, they'll be praising your name on one of these sites. And then your referral business just kind of trickles. It just kind of rolls.
Well, I have a lot of marketplace ads and everything. And every time I get it, I tell them, well, what price point you have and when can we when can we talk? There's my number. If you want to message me at this number, I'll be happy to connect with you.
That's where you're going wrong.
Okay,
So
that's where they disconnect.
That's where you're going wrong. So keep it simple and keep them where they're comfortable. So if they are reaching out to you on Facebook Marketplace in a message, you need to keep it on the marketplace until they allow you. Build up the rapport with them to where they allow you to be in there and say, hey, I found this great listing. Do you mind if I have your cell phone number? I can text it to you. And then you get their cell phone number, and then you capture them even more. So you need to build the rapport. It's not their job to contact you when they're ready to talk. It's your job to contact them when you have a property that meets their demands.
So basically, you're getting all the criteria by Facebook until they're ready to talk to you.
Yeah, that they'll keep talking to you. If they're truly interested, they'll keep talking to you. If they aren't, so if you say it's listed at $255, is that a price you want to stay in? No, I'm sorry, it's not. It's out of our price point. Oh darn, I'd love to help you. What are you exactly looking for? What price point are you looking to stay in? Question mark. We're not really looking right now. It's kind of my neighbor's house. They're going to be way more honest with you behind that keyboard than they ever will be in person. So if they're like, oh, okay, no problem. Yeah,
that's so true. 100% true.
And then what I do when they say they're not ready right now, I send them a $5 coupon, a $5 Facebook amount. So I'm like, hey, thanks for your time today. And it's $5. Enjoy a coffee or tea or Coke on me. Here you go.
And you're able to convert a lot of marketplace leads?
What was August? I did 2.6 million and all of them were marketplace.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
That's amazing. Are you putting listings that they're not even yours?
No. That is a ethics violation. Do not do that. You have, unless you have permission from the agent. I'm using my listings. Have I used other agents that I've had permission in the past? Yes. Have I allowed agents to use my listings? Yes, absolutely. The more marketing, the better. But do not just randomly put someone's listing on there. That is a violation. So you just have to have it in written consent that they're letting you market it, and you have to have their name. Any more questions?
That's good stuff, Brooke. Thank you so much.
But thank you so much. I tell you what's most impressive, though, that you're able to multitask. You're doing something with a house up there. And doing
Funny thing is, so you want to hear how this whole thing happened. So I listed a lake house in January before COVID on Marketplace. I had somebody reach out to me in February. He had 4 or 5 different agents that were just randomly sending him cart information. And I was the only one that was texting him actual listings. And none of us had BBAs in place. He ended up buying my listing was $750. He ended up buying $1 million lake house, and I'm selling his $1 million property right now.
Wow. When do you get them to sign up for a listing agreement or buyer? Where do you, when you get to
the listing agreement, as soon as they agreed to list their house with me, I send that out. Right. But as soon as we write a first offer on the home, the BBA gets put at the bottom, at the end of the contract. And so they signed it. They sign it right then and there.
Gotcha.
Brooke, what's your number? If we need to get any nugget, can we just text you?
You can text me. I will set the expectations that after 7:30 at night now, I do not do work. I kind of burnt myself out a little bit during COVID. So after 7:30 at night, I just ask that you respect my time with my other half. So my number is 404-858-0076. And if he's working late, I'll answer. But if I don't answer until, 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. the next day, that's just because we're having us time.
No, I totally understand that. I totally understand that. You're just amazing that you've done 2.6 million. It's amazing to know that.
Yeah, that doesn't include his listing. So if this one sells, that'll be 3 million.
Ah, congratulations. That sounds like a nice round figure a lot of us would love.
Yeah. So it's a tool. Facebook Marketplace is a tool that people are not utilizing. And given another time when I'm not like, this is the crazy season, I will teach a class and like go in and show you my back end messenger and how I compartmentalize. And remember when I was saying Michael's going to wake up one day and just have messages? I do that every day. I wake up, I had a message this morning that said, hey, we live in Florida. We see your posts all the time. We love all your success. We love what you're doing. We're looking for a 3-4 cabin in LJ. Can you help us? We want to stay under 500K.
Ah, what a country.
Yeah. Thank you, Brooke. What's your last name?
Last name's Woolley.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Nope. No
Hey,
problem.
thanks for all
And
the
guys,
insights. Really appreciate your time, especially as you got some stuff going on there. Appreciate it, Brooke.
yeah, no problem, guys. And just call me if you need anything. I'm going to jump off here and talk business, and I'm going to throw it back over to Bill.
I don't know if he's there.
Hey, I'm here. I'm here, guys.
Melody is.
I'm here.
Hey, Bill.
Yes.
Matt.
I'm here. I want to thank Brooke and Bill and Veronika for their help. So guys, they're always here. So if you have any questions, they're here to help. Brooke is like a wealth of knowledge, both her and Veronika and Bill. So I want to say thank you for taking this time out of your day for the last class of September. So we're getting ready for October classes. And so just keep in mind that the newsletter goes out. You'll see the classes in the newsletter. And I want to say thank you, guys.
Thank you,
And don't
Melody.
forget to go ahead.
Appreciate
If
it.
you're
Thanks,
sign up
folks.
for Bold, go ahead and sign up now because the price is going to change next Monday. So it's $79 now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so check the newsletter.
Good
Thank
eye.
you, guys.
Good eye.
Thanks, Melody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.